165. Nick Wanzek up against Vincenzo Joseph. Said Nick Wanzek, round of 12. Guy that's been knocking on the door. Vincenzo Joseph shut the door on Isaiah Martinez in the finals last year.
Yeah, that was a great match. You know, overtime, almost went to, well, I can't recall if it was overtime or not, but the last move basically called it there with that inside trip. We've seen that inside trip a couple times here this year in big situations. Saw it against Michigan here with Logan Massa. Wanzek, kind of a journeyman. He's a guy that's worked hard to get his ranking, been around a 12 guy a few times. Just a guy that goes out there and battles, is becoming a pretty tough out for these top layer guys. Of course, Joseph, the returning national champion, top of the heap with the #1 ranking.
Nick Wanzek coming off a big win against Logan Massa against the Michigan last week in their dual meet, 14-8. After giving up a couple of takedowns early in the match, coming all the way back and almost getting the major decision.
And we have to remember Massa was hurt earlier in the year, and he's just making his way back in. The first match he has is against the national champion, and those two wrestled to quite a match in the semifinals last year. So, you know, I wouldn't give up on Massa by any means. We'll have an opportunity to see him tomorrow, Tim, over in Iowa City.
Against Alex Marinelli. That'll be a good test. And one thing I never question is the mental toughness of Logan Massa. And it's just like you said, working his way back into the shape that hopefully he was last year.
Yeah, so Wanzek, you know, obviously, you know, people know what, when you become a national champion, trust me, people scout you. They want to, you'll hear from the other corner whatever your favorite move is, okay? So that's good coaches out there. But that's what Joseph has been able to do. What I was surprised is he's straight on doubles right here. The timing of him is really sharp. I mean, straight on doubles, you don't see too many guys get them. I know you see the best wrestlers in the world obviously get them, but there's a timing to it. And Joseph seems to have that down. And he follows it up with a pretty good single leg finish. And then one thing we also noticed about him was his front headlock position where he has his chest over the top. See, now he's got his shoulder above. He's making Wanzek carry his weight. But he's looking to score right here. And then the other thing, too, that I noticed about him is he looks so comfortable out there. You look at his facial expressions. He's just calm and just is so at peace out there, you know, with all this that's going on. It's really, he's getting to be pretty enjoyable to watch.
There's our Flow Wrestling National Rankings, our partner in the national rankings, and you saw Vincenzo Joseph right there at the top. #1 ranked wrestler, and he certainly did a lot to just make people believe last week, because he's really kind of under the radar and thought differently than the other national champions. But that win over Massa last couple of weeks ago was a big one for him in the way he did it.
Yeah, you take a look at the weight class there with Isaiah Martinez, you know, coming back, the two-time national champion. You know, a lot of people, I mentioned too, I still think he's the guy to beat in the weight class, you know, and can't help it. That's just the way, you know, the informed opinion. But this guy, it just really did a lot to impress me. And this is always his attacks are just so well timed. I mean, there's nothing, you know, it's just the timing of them are just beautiful. Nice little back trip right there. And finishes the period, the top position. Great wrestling.
Takedown with 10 seconds left in the first period to go out in front 2-0. There's Brandon Eggum in his second year as the head coach. 17th year on the coaching staff. And he was a three-time All-American runner-up for the Minnesota Gophers in his wrestling days, and took over the program as the head coach last year.
The way Vincenzo Joseph is wrestling, I don't know how you tire him out. You know, he has it down. He's got great balance. Very tough to get off of his feet. Holds position well, and just has a way of just his matches are full of nice solid exhales. You know what I'm saying? When you're out there, sometimes you kind of inhale. You don't really hit that full exhale. Sometimes you get the first takedown. His wrestling just exudes good breathing. And
he was breathing well in the first period, because that was about his sixth shot, and it was executed so excellently with 10 seconds left and the ride out. Now with the escape, he's out in front 3-0. Vincenzo Joseph out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Central Catholic High School. Won the national title last year as a freshman.
Little subtle thing right there. Wanzek had a 2-on-1, and instead of Joseph backing out of that and making the actual position stronger, Nice position for Wanzek, but just the calmness. The hip drops the hips and the chest in. And my point I was trying to make it there is that he just, when in doubt, he goes forward. You know, he meets the pressure of the opponent, and actually, I liken it to that old movie, The Hunt for Red October, where, you know, they flew the submarine into the missile, right, before it would detonate. And that's constantly what Joseph is about with his wrestling.
That's a great picture. Vincenzo
underwater.
Joseph. Yeah. And Joseph never going underwater. He keeps his head above water and continues to attack. Nick Wanzek, the veteran senior, last year a round of 12, two-time NCAA qualifier, was a three-time state champion in Minnesota, and he's out of Inver Grove Heights Simley High School as well, teammates with Jake Short in high school.
But can you imagine what Joseph's practices look like? He's always got guys shooting on him. Zane Rutherford, Nolf, you know, he gets a lot of practice in these positions because those guys beat you the punch every day.
Below him, above him, you go above him, and it's obviously Mark Hall and Bo Nickel. That practice room, unbelievable. We'll go to the third period now. 3-0, Joseph out in front. Wanzek's opportunity to make something happen right here.
And this is the area also. See how he spreads him out right here? He keeps that right elbow and the knee from getting close to each other. So he chops right there to get what he wants and chops at an angle. But at the critical moment here, he'll hang. I don't know if he's really committed to riding here, but he does a nice job of scooping that leg up and then stretches the guy out with it.
3-1.
Wanzek back on his feet. The difference right now, the takedown with 10 seconds left in the first period by Joseph. And 2 escapes, 3-1, the national champion out front.
Yeah, you see that Wanzek is constantly attacking that near leg again, presenting himself. He's trying to see if he can take him down with his best move.
One thing about both these wrestlers, they both got good motors, and Wanzek has wrestled about as wise a match as he can wrestle. He's put himself in a position.
Wrestle through the position.
Great point, Tim. Great point. So, you know, you got, you know, riding time, not a factor. Looked up. This is whatever you have in the arsenal to take down the defending champion. Goes back to the same shot. Joseph measures it, follows it up. Again, Wanzek has done a good job in a lot of areas in this match. Yeah.
Wow. Stalling on Joseph by rule, backing out of the circle. It looked like they were just continuing action.
Yeah. Interesting. So
after 2 shots.
Yeah, it's one of those inconsequential calls in the match. I mean, but the
Wanzek not being able to break through Joseph. And Joseph looks like he's going to hang on right here for the 3-1 win. Drives at him again. Whoa! And no time left. That's the match. A good, hard-fought match. The national champion
both guys
stays undefeated. Both guys, good championship wrestling right there. Vincenzo Joseph, still ranked #1, still undefeated. Couple of national champions on the